For decades, George Strait has been known as the king of country music. Yet one question has never gone away. Why did an artist who defined the genre never become a member of the Grand Ole Opry? He barely set foot in the building, and the silence around that choice only fueled speculation. When George Strait announced his retirement in 2012, many assumed the story ended there. But it didn't. Now, at 43, his son has finally spoken, confirming what fans had quietly suspected for years. Was George Strait's distance from the Opry really about tradition, or was it about something far more personal? And what does his son's admission reveal about the future of the Strait legacy? Let's find out. George Strait was born on May 18, 1952, in the small Texas town of Poteet, to John Byron Strait Sr. and Doris Jean Kerr. He was raised in Pearsall in Frio County, southwest of San Antonio, where his father worked as a junior high math teacher while also running a 200-acre cattle ranch near Big Wells. George and his siblings spent weekends and summers working the ranch. When he was in 4th grade, his parents divorced, and his mother moved away with his sister, leaving George and his brother, John Buddy Jr., to be raised primarily by their father. Much of Strait's childhood was shaped by ranch life. He worked alongside his father and brother, learning discipline and routine long before music became central to his life. In high school, he began playing music seriously, joining a rock and roll garage band called the Stoics. Like many teenagers of the time, he was influenced by the Beatles and other British invasion groups. But his tastes soon shifted. Strait gravitated toward country music, drawing inspiration from legends like Hank Williams, Merle Haggard, George Jones, Bob Wills, and even Frank Sinatra. Interestingly, he rarely listened to country radio as a boy, preferring news broadcasts and farm reports. Instead, he absorbed country music by watching live performances, something he later said was common in small Texas towns. Strait's musical path became more focused during his college years at Southwest Texas State University in San Marcos. After answering a flyer seeking a vocalist, he joined a local country band called the Stony Ridge. There, he sharpened his guitar playing and vocal style, performing in bars and clubs across South and Central Texas. He eventually took over leadership of the group, renaming it the Ace in the Hole Band. The band built a strong regional following and even opened for established acts like the Texas Playboys. They recorded several singles through a Houston-based independent label, but none gained national traction. To make ends meet, Strait continued working at his family's ranch during the day while performing at night. Around this time, he befriended Irv Woolsey, a bar manager and former MCA Records employee. Woolsey helped bring Nashville executives to Texas to see Strait perform. Though impressed, they ultimately passed, believing his Western swing-leaning sound would be difficult to market. After years of rejection, George Strait kept traveling to Nashville, hoping one label would finally say yes. Every door closed. Exhausted and discouraged, he told his band he was ready to walk away from music altogether. It was his wife Norma who stopped him, urging him to give it just one more year. He listened. That decision changed everything. In February 1981, Strait signed with MCA Records, but only for a single song. If it failed, that would be the end. The Ace in the Hole Band stayed with him as his backing and touring group, and that spring MCA released his debut single, Unwound, which climbed to number 6 on the Billboard Hot Country Songs chart. The success earned him a full album deal. His debut album, Strait Country, produced more hits and was hailed as a return to traditional country at a time when pop influences dominated the genre. Momentum came fast. In 1982, Straight from the Heart delivered his first #1 hit, Fool-Hearted Memory, along with the now iconic Amarillo by Morning. In 1983, an unexpected opportunity cemented his live reputation. When another artist fell ill, Strait stepped in to headline the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. The performance became a career-long tradition, with Strait returning more than 20 times to play for over 1 million fans. Throughout the mid-1980s, he dominated the charts, racking up 17 number ones, 1 songs, multiple CMA awards, and a string of number 1 albums including Right or Wrong and Does Fort Worth Ever Cross Your Mind. By 1986, when he was named CMA Vocalist of the Year, Strait had crossed fully into superstardom. Through it all, his personal life remained remarkably steady. Strait stayed married to Norma, his high school sweetheart. George Strait and Norma quietly eloped on December 4, 1971, shortly after graduating, marrying in a private ceremony in Mexico. That same year, Strait enlisted in the United States Army, serving as an infantryman with the 25th Infantry Division at Schofield Barracks in Hawaii. While stationed there, he auditioned for and joined an Army-sponsored country band called Rambling Country, performing on and off base under the name Santee. He served 4 years, rising to the rank of corporal, and it was during this time that his confidence as a performer truly took shape. Music remained central to his life, but family mattered just as much. George and Norma had 2 children, their daughter Jennifer, born in 1972, and their son George Harvey Strait Jr., known as Bubba, born in 1981. Tragedy struck in 1986 when Jennifer was killed in a car accident at just 13 years old. The loss devastated the family. Strait continued working, but for years he avoided interviews entirely, carrying his grief privately. The pain never fully faded, and it left a permanent mark on both his life and his music. Fame brought its own pressures, constant scrutiny, media intrusion, but Strait never lost his grounded nature. Family and music always came first, and his songs began to reflect deeper themes of love, loss, and endurance. That emotional honesty, paired with a strong sense of nostalgia, helped him connect with fans on a personal level. Outside music, he found balance through hobbies like ranching, golf, skiing, and steer roping. Strait also devoted time to philanthropy. With longtime friend and business partner Tom Cusick, he co-founded the Vaqueros Del Mar Invitational, an annual golf tournament and concert at their Texas Hill Country Resort, benefiting military families through David Feherty's Troops First Foundation. In 2018, he was honored as Texan of the Year by the Texas Legislative Conference. In 1992, Strait made his film debut in Pure Country, starring as Dusty Chandler, a country star searching for authenticity beyond fame. The role allowed him to explore a slightly different musical edge while staying true to his roots. Beyond his unmistakable Texas sound, George Strait became one of the most dominant figures in music history. He holds records for the most number 1 albums and singles in country music, along with gold, platinum, and multi-platinum releases. Across all genres, only Elvis Presley and the Beatles have earned more gold and platinum certifications. Strait is also among the best-selling artists in American history, with more than 70 million records sold in the U.S. alone and over 120 million worldwide. His chart dominance is unmatched. Strait achieved a top 10 hit every year for 3 straight decades and amassed 60 number 1 hits across charts, placing him just behind Eddie Arnold in all-time top 10 appearances. He has collected 22 CMA awards, including Entertainer of the Year honors in 3 different decades, an achievement no other artist has matched. He was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame in 2006 and continues to be recognized by institutions like Billboard and the Academy of Country Music as one of the most influential artists ever. Unlike many of his peers, Strait resisted pop trends in the 1980s, staying rooted in traditional country and inspiring others to do the same. His success raised a question fans asked for years. When he finally stepped back, who could possibly carry on that legacy? For many, the answer seemed obvious: his son. George Strait Jr., known as Bubba, had long been involved behind the scenes, co-writing songs with his father and occasionally joining him on stage, dressed in classic cowboy fashion. That visibility fueled speculation that the torch would eventually be passed. Now 43, Bubba has finally addressed what fans suspected all along. Born in 1981 in San Marcos, Texas, he first carved his own path, competing in rodeo events while studying at Texas A&M and later roping professionally with the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association. Though an injury ended his rodeo career, his creative partnership with his father only deepened. For more than 3 decades, George Strait has been deeply rooted in the rodeo world. A lifelong fan of team roping, he served as producer of the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association Team Roping Classic, an annual event that ran until 2017. Years earlier, he told Team Roping Journal that roping was his true passion, and that his proudest moment wasn't a trophy or a chart record, but winning alongside his son. That son, George Strait Jr., known as Bubba, may keep a low profile, but he's long been part of the music. As a child, his voice opens Heartland from the 1992 film Pure Country. As an adult, he became a trusted creative partner, co-writing songs with his father across multiple albums, including Living for the Night, Here for a Good Time, Love is Everything, Cold Beer Conversation, and Honky Tonk Time Machine. In 2014, Bubba joined his father on stage in Arlington, Texas, during the final stop of the Cowboy Rides Away tour. Together, they performed Arkansas Dave, a song Bubba wrote himself. That night marked George Strait's farewell to touring, played before a record-breaking crowd of 104,792 at AT&T Stadium, the largest concert attendance in North American history. The rotating, in-the-round stage and the ace-in-the-hole band turned the night into a celebration of decades of music. Off-stage, Bubba has represented the family at major industry events, including the Country Music Hall of Fame Medallion Ceremony and the Academy of Country Music Awards. He avoids social media, but his wife Tamara, whom he met in 2005 and married in 2010, occasionally shares glimpses of their life together. They have 2 children, George Harvey Strait III and Jillian Louise Strait. Bubba may not chase fame the way his father did, but his path is intentional. He's helping carry the spirit of traditional country forward while carving out his own lane, honoring a legacy without living in its shadow, and ensuring the Strait story continues to grow with the next generation. George Strait is often called the king of country music, which makes one fact hard to wrap your head around. He has never been a member of the Grand Ole Opry. For decades, fans have wondered why one of the most respected artists in the genre never joined country music's most sacred institution, or whether he ever even stood inside the famous circle at all. To understand the answer, it helps to know how Opry membership works. According to the Opry itself, invitations are decided solely by management based on career achievement and long-term commitment. Talent, longevity, industry respect, and fan connection all matter, but so does something far more demanding: availability. Opry members are expected to appear regularly, sometimes up to half the year. Membership isn't just an honor, it's a responsibility that requires deep personal and professional sacrifice. On paper, Strait easily qualifies. His career accomplishments are beyond dispute. Where the issue likely arises is commitment. Throughout his entire career, George Strait has remained firmly rooted in Texas, not Nashville. Regular travel back and forth to fulfill Opry obligations would have been a heavy burden, especially for an artist who built his life and his identity far from Tennessee. In fact, past members have lost their Opry status for failing to meet appearance requirements. That reality has tripped up other legends, too. Fellow Texan Willie Nelson once explained that maintaining Opry membership required being in Nashville nearly 26 weeks a year, something he simply couldn't do while touring and living in Texas. Strait faced the same logistical reality. As for whether Strait ever played the Opry at all, the answer is yes, but only once. According to archival research and confirmation from Opry historian Byron Fay, George Strait appeared on the Grand Ole Opry on October 9, 1982, performing on both the early and late Saturday shows. That remains his only documented Opry appearance, shortly after releasing Straight from the Heart and the single Marina del Rey. Despite years of rumors, there has never been any confirmed bad blood between George Strait and the Opry. The explanation appears surprisingly simple: geography, lifestyle, and a refusal to compromise the life he chose. Still, it remains astonishing that the man so widely crowned as country music's king stepped onto the Opry stage just once, and then quietly walked his own path. So when you step back and look at the full picture, the records, the choices, the family legacy, it becomes clear that nothing about George Strait's story happened by accident. And now that his son has finally spoken, it feels less like a surprise and more like a confirmation of what fans sensed all along. The legacy was never disappearing. It was evolving quietly. But what do you think? Should George Strait Jr. fully step into the spotlight and carry the crown forward, or is the magic of the Strait legacy rooted in staying just outside the noise? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more stories uncovering the hidden truths behind country music's biggest legends.